everyone. I'm Tracy Luckow.
And I'm Lori Gittimer.
We're sisters, best friends, native New Yorkers, Cornell alumni, and co-founders of the revolutionary whipped cream company, Whipnotic. And we're so proud to be here today to tell you the story of how we started our company, but also pioneered in amazing patented technology along the way.
Growing up, my favorite food was always whipped cream. I was the child that piled it high on top of my ice cream and my pancakes. But as I grew up, I noticed in the grocery store that all the brands had been updated and modernized. Yet my favorite food, whipped cream, pretty much remained exactly the same.
But baristas in coffee shops and milkshake parlors all throughout New York City were swirling sauces and syrups into cream, making it more fun, multisensorial, and versatile. And while the baristas were certainly doing a lot to modernize the category, the coffee shops themselves were losing valuable morning occasions. First, due to COVID, and more recently, due to long wait times and soaring prices at the cafes. In fact, according to the US National Coffee Association, 71% of coffee is currently being brewed at home. And about half of those occasions, consumers are doctoring their coffees with things like creamers, we just heard from Chobani, coffee foams, and also whipped cream.
With at-home coffee on the rise, it's no surprise that the whipped cream category is growing so fast. Whipped cream alone represents a $1.5 billion category, but when you add in the cold foams and the creamers, our total addressable market is between $3 to $5 billion. Flavored and healthier whipped creams like Whipnotic is currently the sector of the market that's driving the growth. With our active retail expansion and minimal competition, Whipnotic is on track to hit $50 million in revenue by 2029. With my 20 years of sales and marketing experience at large media organizations like NBC Universal, Viacom, and CAA, I knew that we can tackle this category. So I called my best friend in life and business, my sister Tracy.
And with my PhD in food science and over 25 years at large CPG companies, including PepsiCo, Danone, and Sabra Hummus, we, the Whipped Queens, joined by a few of our very brilliant friends with complementary skill sets, set out to shake up this 75-year-old category.
At its core, Whipnotic tastes more like homemade whipped cream. It's free from corn syrups, artificial flavoring, and long chemical preservatives. Instead, it's made with real cream, natural vanilla, and just a touch of cane sugar.
But the real magic comes from our patented nozzle swirl technology. Every single one of our nozzles is filled with fresh fruit juices and natural flavor essences that swirl right into the cream when you press the button and spray the nozzle. The result is a whipped cream that's more artisanal and barista crafted, but just at 10 calories per serving and rounds down to 0 grams of sugar.
Over the past 3 years, we have met our consumer at grocery stores, at food conventions, at social media events all across the US, and we are proud to be introducing Whipnotic to a much younger generation. In fact, 1 out of every 2 cans of Whipnotic sold is to a new household that hasn't purchased the category in the past 52 weeks. And that's because instead of it just being a typical Thanksgiving pie topper, we're more of an everyday coffee topper that does so much more than traditional whipped cream.
And that's earned us the incredible honor of being the fastest growing brand in our category, with unit velocities at 2 times the category average, despite a more premium price point. Our earliest production samples were created in July of 2022 at the Cornell COE in Geneva, New York, and they were shipped downstate to Citarella. But since then, we've grown our footprint considerably, adding 1,500 stores in nearly 40 states, with premier retailers including Whole Foods Market, Target, and Kroger. To date, we've sold 500,000 units of Whipnotic.
Our growth trajectory is accelerating rapidly, with us doing just under $1 million in sales this year and projected to do over $50 million by 2029. With our retail presence expanding from 1,500 stores to 15,000 stores, and our unit sales growing by over 60 times, Whipnotic is setting up to be a national powerhouse. Our scale-up plan includes growing our footprint and our assortment in our existing retail partners like Target and Whole Foods Market, as well as adding new interested accounts like Sprouts, Albertsons, and club stores. Additionally, we plan to address the overwhelming excitement in food service. Since we've launched, we've been approached by large chains like Dunkin' Donuts. Today, our margins sit around 30%, but with scale on our whipped cream, with optimizations to our technology, and with consolidation of our manufacturing, we will hit profitability by 2027 and grow our margins to 50% by 2028.
But the thing that we're the proudest of is that we kept our promise to our friends at the Cornell COE, and we concentrated all of our manufacturing and production in the Grow New York area. 90% of our milk and cream is sourced from independent farmers and co-ops in upstate New York, and it's shipped just a small distance to Delhi, New York, where it's whipped into whipped cream. From there, about a couple hundred miles away, close to here in Rochester, New York, we commissioned and installed custom equipment that fills and assembles our nozzles at a rate of 15 per minute. Then the nozzles are placed on top of our cans, they're capped off, they're placed into corrugated boxes that are also made in Rochester, New York, and they're palletized before being shipped to stores all throughout the country. Because of our current footprint, we're already contributing to the economy of upstate New York, but we know as we grow, we can do so much more.
To enable this scale, we know that our staffing and our production footprint needs to shift considerably. As validated by Schmidt Labs, as winners of Grow New York, we intend to invest the $1 million in the following ways. First, we will take 18 of our current contractors currently in New York and convert them into full-time employees, including 5 headquartered in the New York region in areas like finance, sales, marketing, and logistics. Secondly, with the $1 million, it would help us enable our dream of owning our own real estate in upstate New York. For the past 2 years, we've been passively looking at manufacturing sites. However, we accelerated our search in Auburn, Geneva, and Rochester during our regional tour in October. We know that owning our own space will allow us to house our own equipment, grow in a more focused way with a bigger team, and add a second shift, which would truly 5x our capacity. Overall, the impact to New York's economic development would be over $100 million by 2029.
But wait, there's more. A cherry on top, if you will. When we were writing our patent, we had the foresight to dream a little bit bigger and to recognize that our technology was more broadly possible than just on whipped cream, but across all of aerosol. Did you know that every single day in America, between 10 and 11 million aerosol products are sold and used? From your morning shower to your midnight snack, if you were to line up all of the aerosol products that Americans use in one single day, it would circle the earth twice. And yet, there's been very little to no innovation on aerosol packaging in the last 75 years. In fact, the USPTO utility patents show that less than 1% of patents reference the word aerosol. Yet Lori and I have been issued several, and over 30 claims in countries including the United States, Canada, Europe, China, Japan, and Taiwan. And we're on a mission to keep reinventing aerosol packaging. Whipnotic's nozzle technology adapts perfectly across aerosol to categories including spray deodorant, shaving cream, sunscreen, and hair mousse, just to name a few. The benefit of having 2 discrete compartments allows for endless innovation possibilities to bring more visible function and fun to the consumer. And it can also yield a much stronger ROI for our investors. As a result of the strength of our patent across all fields of use and form factors, we're currently seeking a licensing consultant in upstate New York who can help us to adapt this technology across aerosol once we have completely figured it out and proven it out in whipped cream.
The whipped cream market is booming, with Whipnotic leading innovation in this stagnant aerosol category. With our rapid retail expansion, our strong sales velocities, our patented technology, our modern brand, this established Whipnotic team is poised to do over $50 million in revenue and drive the next wave of category growth to New York State. Help us flip this industry on its cans and help us to whip it
real good.
Thank you.